Good morning, folks. I'll be right back. I just have to set something up in my streaming software. It's gonna look like I've got a black screen for a sec, but just bear with me. Okay, now you can probably hear me. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I just had to set up a new background. What I was saying, I think it should work now. I think it should work. So what I was saying before my microphone cut out. Okay, good. What I was saying before my microphone cut out was that I made a video 3/4 of the way editing it, and it just seemed to be really confusing, and I think I just got into too great of detail, and so I was like, okay, well, I have to redo it. This doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's a fairly straightforward procedure. I don't know why I made it so complicated. But in any case, I went to go start to reshoot it, and then I thought, why don't I just do a live demonstration? I'm going to see all of my classes. I'm going to stream to all. I'm going to show you how to use Dropbox. Like I said, I mean, this video will be archived, so if you forget how to do it, you can always just go back to an iPhone. It doesn't really matter if it's an iPhone or an Android device. As far as I can tell, there's really no difference in terms of how the Dropbox app works. So there are many ways of making a PDF. The way that I think is the most straightforward way is to use Dropbox. Now, Dropbox is a free service, account or something like that, and basically what that does is it gives me lots of storage. I think it gives me something like 2 terabytes of online storage. Now, I use Dropbox for lots and lots of things. I've been using it for several years. I've been using it for different jobs, things like that, so it makes sense for me to pay for it. If you don't use Dropbox right now, it probably means you don't need Dropbox. So I would not suggest paying for it. Their free service is a great free service. The service gives you 2 gigabytes for free. And there are several ways of getting more space for free. Things like, I know it's lame, but things like adding your friends to it, you can get a little more space. I think that the most straightforward way is to connect your camera for PDFs, for making PDFs. 2 gigabytes of PDFs is a lot, so I think that we're probably fine. I'm just going to pause something. There we go. Okay. I have a feeling that the quality of the stream was being bad. Anyway, so let's hop to it. So the first thing that you're gonna want to do is to sign up for a Dropbox account. Like I said, it's free. So you just go to Dropbox.com, and it doesn't really. Sorry, I've got a bit of a sniffy nose. So yeah, what you can do is you can try for free for 30 days, or just get Dropbox Basic. So we're gonna go with Dropbox Basic, and I'm just gonna steal my mouse. There we go. Oh no, that's not my mouse. This is my mouse. Sorry guys. There we go. Okay. So here's Dropbox Basic. So this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna get Dropbox Basic. Now, of course, I already have a Dropbox account, so it doesn't really make sense for me to sign up again. So you can sign up for free. You just need to give them your name, your email address, and then you make a password. You accept their terms. If you already have a Gmail account, you can sign up with Google. That's a little more secure. You don't really have to worry about making like a password and stuff and giving it to them. If you click sign up with Google, then it'll just leave all the security up to Google, which is quite secure. Not very private, but very secure. So yeah, let's say that we've already got this downloaded, signed up. The next thing that you want to do is go to your phone and get the Dropbox app. So, just looking at it from the App Store point of view, the App Store will give us, we just click search, and then we can click Dropbox, and it should be the first one that comes up. And I've already downloaded Dropbox already. So, what I'm going to do, and I thought about a few different ways of doing this. It's difficult for me to stream from my phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my iPad's camera so you can kind of see what it takes to do a PDF. So I'm going to open up the camera app here. Where is the camera? Okay, so here's my camera. I think I'm gonna have to turn it around like so. Oops, no, I can't have that on. Okay. So I got a little notebook of mine from a couple years ago when I was teaching at the university. So if we wanted to take turn this into a PDF, well, what I'll do is I'll go into my phone and I will find the Dropbox app. There it is. And okay, so this is this is my account. And then what I'll do is I'll hit create, and then I will scan a document like that. Now, this is what the screen looks like, and it's kind of a little bit confusing because I've got a camera and a camera, but there we go. And just like that, I made a PDF of my work. So here's my PDF. Now, if you notice that the corners aren't quite there, it's not the perfect corner. So what you can do is click this little edit button, and you can adjust the corners. So if you kind of hover your thumb over that corner, then right on the side here, you can see on the other corner, it kind of zooms in so you can get a nice precise corner. And there we go. And I'll do the same thing on this corner. So make it really nice. And there you have it. We hit done. And there's your PDF. Now the whole reason I want a PDF is so that if you have multiple pages, it's one file. That's the entire reason why I want you to be submitting PDFs instead of JPEGs, is so that it's one file. So what you can do is you can right in the corner here, you can see that there is this button here that will give us a new page. And then you just do the whole thing again. Maybe I'll do the other side. It'll kind of be in reverse order. So you can kind of hover it, and then you can see there's that blue thing going around. If you're impatient, you can just hit that button and it'll take the picture as is. But that blue circle is just kind of doing it automatically for you. So this one looks pretty good. I mean, if I wanted to, I can adjust the corners again, just like I did before. and I can do the same over here. There we go. And then I hit done. And there's my PDF. So then what you can do is you can hit next. You can name it something that you want. So here is my example. Here we go, example. There we go. And we hit done. And then there are several folders that you can choose from. These are the ones that I've most recently used. And yeah, you can just scroll down and find example.pdf. Oh, there it is. Oh, I've made many examples. I guess I've been busy. See, I made a video of this already. So here's the one that we just did. And if you zoom in on it, like it's really high quality. I mean, like it starts to pixelate a little bit when you really zoom in, but I mean that's pretty good. And all the pages are together in the order that we took them in. Now the cool thing about Dropbox is that you can share this file very easily. So you can hit this little link button right here, create a link, and maybe what I can do is I'll share this with my iPad like that, and oh, look at that, and just like that, it you know, here it is on my iPad. So you can tell, yeah, it's a very high quality scan, and that took like 2 seconds to make, right? So this was a great way to make a PDF. Now another cool thing about Dropbox is that another great thing about Dropbox is that you can have it on your computer as well. And when it's on your computer, all of the files that you have are automatically uploaded to your computer. So if you install it on your computer, what's really nice about that is you can like you don't even have to share it with yourself. It'll just automatically be connected to your computer. So that's what I would recommend using for submitting your work. If you have any difficulties using Dropbox, you're more than welcome to ask for a little bit of help. But I think that if you sign up for a free account and just sort of fiddle around with it for a while, you'll see that it's fairly straightforward to use. So let me just switch. There we go. Okay, so I think that can be set aside now. Like I said, if you have any difficulties using Dropbox at all, just let me know, and I'll try my best to help you out. But you guys are fairly technically literate, so I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, for the what am I trying to say? Yeah, if you want to do the final exam, like the traditional final exam, I'm going to require that you submit a PDF. So everyone who does the final exam is going to have to submit a PDF of their work. And the map portion, the topic map portion of the final project, or the final assessment that everyone has to do. Remember the part A, everyone has to do part A of the final assessment, which is the topic map. That will either, I mean, maybe you would actually make it on your computer. That would be totally fine. But I would assume that most of you would probably use a piece of paper and a pencil or something. And then I would expect a PDF of that when you're done. So so everyone will need to submit a PDF at some point. These are the ways that I've found to be most straightforward. Another way too that I think some people did was to import all of the images into Google Docs. So if you make a blank Google Doc, then excuse me, if you make a blank Google Doc and just import all your photos into there, then that works pretty well too, and you can save that as a PDF. So there's many ways of doing this. I just think that Dropbox is the most straightforward. It's kind of the most hands-off. You kind of just take a picture and then all of a sudden it's a PDF. And especially if you have Dropbox installed on your computer, You don't even have to like share it with yourself. It's just automatically on your computer. And if you don't have a computer, that's fine. The Dropbox app is like really well baked into the what am I trying to say? It's really well baked into the operating system, so you can like if you're asked to submit a file. I know that this works on iOS, but I'm not sure if it works on Android. I would assume that it does, but if you're asked to submit a file and you're on your phone, you can use Dropbox as a source. So so that works really well as well. So if you need to submit a file, Dropbox kind of has you covered. I also think that Dropbox is a really good service to have as a student. Either that or Google Drive. Between those two services, you kind of got yourself covered. Google Drive is really nice. You already have a Google Drive account. It's your Winnipeg School Division email address. But you can also have your own personal one. I would suggest that you get a personal one because if you actually do start to use it for more like day-to-day tasks, as far as I understand, your Google account will expire when you graduate from grade 12, so you would no longer have access to that. So I would suggest getting your own personal Google Drive account. Also, if you're using your Google Drive account and then all of a sudden you reach like your maximum space limit, then at least if it was your own personal account, you would have the option to pay more to get more space, whereas there's no way that you can pay more to get more space with your school division account. As far as I know, I don't think there's a way to get more. I don't know how much space you have with your school division account. I know that the teacher accounts are pretty good. We have unlimited space, which is kind of like unusually nice. But yeah, I would definitely recommend to be saving all of your work into the cloud. Because it's just not worth it to have that risk of computer failure, which happens all the time. Like I can't tell you how much that happens. A friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, was once working on his undergrad thesis, and he'd been working on it for several months. And I was there with him in the room. He was working on it, not really doing anything unusual, and then his computer just completely glitched, and all of his work was completely lost. He hadn't backed it up. He didn't have it on any sort of cloud service, and yeah, it was all gone. It was completely unrecoverable. So so it's not worth it to be saving work and having all these files just on your computer. I really strongly believe that having a backup on the cloud, or even just all of your work on the cloud, is really good. The only downside, of course, is privacy. You are kind of giving all of your documents to a company who is going to, analyze those documents and make a profile for you and likely sell that information to advertisers. So it's kind of a give and a take. I mean, nothing is for free. But these are things that I'm hoping that you think about, because they are important things. So that was quite the introduction. What we're going to do today is I'm going to just sort of give you some work to do, and we'll do some of the work together. I want to go over kind of this interesting trick that I came across this weekend that I think is really relevant to you guys, because we've done this before, but not necessarily in this way. And it's possible that you did this with Mr. McIntosh as well. But I think these are some cool tricks. So are there any questions about Dropbox or anything like that, or about the final exam? I know that I've got a few email messages over the weekend. But yeah, let me know in the chat if you're confused about Dropbox or anything like that. Okay, so I just want to remind you of a little fact. So let's write recall. Oh, that's too thin. That's better. Recall. Okay. we would have, if I have x minus y times x plus y, this has a special word or a special term that we use. We call this a difference of squares. Difference of squares. Okay, and we've seen this before. Like if we were asked to expand this, let's see why they call it a difference of squares. I mean, it's probably it's true that you probably remember this already, but just to be totally sure, let's expand this and see what we get. So we're gonna have x times x, which is x squared. We're gonna have x times y, which is positive xy. We're gonna have negative y times x, which is negative xy. And then we are going to have negative y times y, which is negative y squared, right? Nothing too shocking about that, I don't think. And, well, you'll probably notice that the xy's cancel out. And what we're left with finally is this is equal to x squared minus y squared. Okay, so we've seen that before, right? A difference of squares, not too difficult to see how that works. So what's interesting about this though is that you can use this fact to calculate some quick numbers or some quick multiplications. So what I mean by that is that we can actually use this fact to multiply some big numbers in our head. Now it only works in very specific cases, but this could really help with approximation. So if you have two numbers that are kind of too big for you to do the multiplication in your head, you can usually use this trick to estimate. So I'm going to show you an example, and I want you to try this one. And I think it goes without saying, I don't want you to use a calculator. You'll see this question and you'll immediately see that you could use a calculator for this. I also don't want you to use vertical multiplication. The whole purpose of this is that I want to show you that this trick works really well to multiply big numbers in your head. So I want to try this one here. So let's try this. So multiply. And then I'll just say without calculator or vertical multiplication. Come on. Okay, so don't use your calculator, don't use vertical multiplication. See if you can use this trick, like this trick right here, how these two things are equal, to multiply 49 times 51. Okay, I'm gonna give you, oopsies, that's not what I wanted to do, 30 seconds. A quick 30 seconds to multiply 49 by 51. Okay, time's up. So the trick here is to notice that this is equal to 50 minus 1 times 50 plus 1, right? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. So this is equal to 50 squared minus 1 squared. Well, 50 squared, that's not that hard to multiply, right? I mean, that's 5 times 5 followed by 2 zeros, right? So this is 25 followed by 2 zeros minus 1 squared, which is 1. So this is 2,499. And that's not even an estimation. That is precise. That's exactly it. What I meant by saying that you could use this trick for estimation is that maybe if it was like 49 by 52, then you could use this trick and you say that, oh, it's very close to 51. So I want us to practice a few of these. So I'm gonna give us a number of these, and that I'll say that this one was A. Let's do another one. Let's do B. Let's do, oh, how about 48 times 52? Kind of a really similar one. How about, yeah, 48 times 52. Okay, another 30 seconds. Go. See if you can do this one in your head without writing anything down. Okie dokes. All right, so let's see where this one goes. So I already know that this is going to be 50 squared minus 2 squared. So that would be 2,500 or 2,500 minus 4 or 24. Oops, not 40. 2496. Okay. I don't know about you, but I find that really satisfying to be able to multiply these big numbers with very little work, right? Yeah, 2496. Awesome. Okay, let's try a couple more. Let's try. How's about this one? Yeah, how about B or C rather? And we'll do 98 times 102. 30 seconds. Go. Come on. There it is. Go. All right, time's up. Whoa, what the heck? This is my calculus class. This is what you can look forward to in calculus, by the way. Okay, where to go? Grade 9 Advanced. Okay, so this is going to be 100 squared minus 4 squared, or sorry, 2 squared rather. 2 squared. And that's a 1 followed by 4 zeros minus 4. So that was going to be 9996. Right? Not too bad, right? Yeah, like I said, I find these really satisfying. So yeah, that was a trick that I wanted to show you. I thought maybe we could do a little more review, just maybe cover some interesting questions that I've come across in the past couple of days. How about something like this? Let's try. Okay, let's complete the factoring. Okay, so we've done a lot of factoring, right? That's kind of really similar to what we just did with the mental math trick. Let's do this one here. Let's say that 20a cubed is equal to 10a times what? Okay, I'm gonna give you even less than 30 seconds. I'm gonna give you 15 seconds for this one. Okay, 20a cubed is equal to 10a times what? Okay, well, I'm missing a 2, right? Because 10 times 2 is 20. And I'm missing 2 a's. So this is going to be 2a squared. And that's that. So 2a squared, right? Because if I were to multiply this out, I would have, well, 10 times 2 is 20. A times a squared is a cubed. Okay, how about this one? Ooh, this is a good one. This was question A. How about question B now? Let's do negative 27 a cubed b to the 4 minus 36 a squared b to the 5. Okay, so that's the expression that we're factoring, and we've already factored out a 9a squared b to the 4, and I want to know what's left over. So if I were to factor out a negative 9a squared b to the 4, what's left over? This one, I'm going to give you maybe a little more than 15 seconds. Let's do 40 seconds for this one. Okay, 40 seconds. Go. Okay, let's try this one. I'm just gonna leave the timer out because I'm gonna use it a few more times. So the thing to notice here is that I've taken out a negative 9 from this and this. So when I take out the negative 9 from the negative 27, I get positive 3. And I've also got an a squared b to the 4. So if I took out an a squared from this, that would give me just 1a left, so that I'm going to have 3a. And if I take out b to the 4, then I've got no more b's left. So we're done on that front. Okay, so next up, I'm going to have a positive because I've taken out a negative. Both of these signs are negative, but I've taken out a negative, so that means that what's inside here is going to be positive, right? And next up, so I've got negative 9 taken away from 36. So 36 has 4 9s in it. So I've got 4, and I've taken out all the a's, right? A squared, so there's no more a's left. And if I've taken away 4 b's, then from the 5 b's, then I would have just 1 b left. So that one is 3a plus 4b. So not too bad. Let's see here. Okay, how about a nice little geometry one? Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that one for your homework. I think that's a really good homework question. Okay, how about this one here? I want you to calculate the greatest common factor here. So how about this one here? I want you to calculate the greatest common factor of all terms. I should say of all terms. Of all terms. Okay, so let's go with this one here. 5c to the 5 minus 10c cubed plus 15c. And I'll give you 30 seconds for this one. So calculate the greatest common factor of all of those terms. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off by looking at the coefficients. So just the little numbers in front of the variables. And we'll see what the greatest common factor of those are. So I think just by inspection we can see that 5 is the greatest common factor. Right? It's a factor of obviously 5, 10, and 15. And it can't be any bigger than 5 because then it would be bigger than 5, right? And it needs to be, it can't be any bigger than 5. So certainly the greatest common factor of the coefficients is 5. So let's go ahead and write that. So this is 5. I'll write GCF. How about GCF is 5, and then as for the variables, we've only got the one variable c. So here's c to the 5, c to the 3, c to the power of 1, which means that the highest exponent that I can choose is 1. So the greatest common factor is just 5c. Now what that means is that I could factor out a 5c from all of these terms. So even though we weren't asked to do this in the question, I just want to point out that this is equal to, well, if I factor out a 5c, I could say that this is equal to c to the 4 minus 2c squared plus 3. Right? Because I'm basically using the distributive property backwards. Okay? Okay, let's try another one really similar to that. Let's try this one here. Let's do question B. That one is going to be negative 27 x cubed y minus 1/3 xy squared. Okay, so yeah, I want you to find the greatest common factor of all of these terms. So basically the greatest common factor of this and this. Go. 30 seconds. Okey-dokes. Time's up. Okay, so this one's a little bit tricky because we have a fraction in the denominator here. Or sorry, we have a fraction as a coefficient here. So what we're gonna do here is I want to have an expression left over where there are no fractions left. So effectively what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out a third. Okay, it sounds a little bit weird to do that, but that's what I'm going to do because I don't want any fractions to be left over inside. So I'm going to factor out a third. So the coefficient that I'm going to factor out is going to be 1/3. So this, so I'm going to have 1/3, and so if I factor out a third, then that's fine. And then as for the variables here, I've got x cubed and y over here. So let's think about the x's for now. So I've got x cubed and just x. So the largest exponent that I have here is 3. The smallest one is 1. So that means that I can only factor out x to the power of 1. So this is going to be 1/3 x to the power of 1, or just x, doesn't really matter. And then same with y, so I've got y and y squared. The largest exponent that I can factor out is 1, so I've got 1/3 x times y. So that one is a little bit weird because it has fractions as a coefficient, and the point is that when we factor this out, we want to be left with an expression that doesn't have any fractions left. So basically what I'm trying to say is that this is equal to, well, if I factored out the 1/3 xy, what I'd be left with is, well, if I take a third out of negative 27, that's going to give me negative 81 x squared, right, minus x, oh no, not x, just y, minus y. So this thing has no fractions in it, so there are no fractions. Okay, but typically we don't actually ask you to factor out something that has fractions. Usually factoring is left for whole numbers. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. I know it's kind of but a bit of an odd class. I spent most of the class talking about Dropbox, but it is a really important skill. I think that like I said, having a Dropbox account is really important as a student, or some kind of cloud backup service. And there are many ways of making a PDF. It doesn't have to be restricted just to the Dropbox app. There are many different apps on the App Store. Dropbox seems to be the most reliable. It's the one that I use most often when I make PDFs. In fact, I don't think I use anything else other than Dropbox. There's lots of software on available for Windows for editing PDFs as well. I didn't really get into that, but I don't think that you'll really need to. I think that Dropbox just kind of provides an all-in-one solution. You can immediately access and share your PDFs once you have them on there. So I really encourage you to get a Dropbox account. It's free, and even if you were only to use it for scanning documents at school, I think that's a good enough reason to have one, because especially nowadays it seems like we're probably going to be scanning documents a lot, and having some experience with that, and being able to do it easily without having to download a new app every week. Just have it on Dropbox, and then try to organize all of your files through the Dropbox app, and I think it'll go really well for you. So yeah, we're gonna end it there. I'm gonna upload just one page of homework. I've got a few questions here that I think are pretty cool, kind of similar to the ones that we did last week with like the geometry. I really like making those connections. So I'm gonna post some homework very shortly. Use the Dropbox app to scan a page from this textbook. So yeah, we're gonna leave it there. I hope you guys are doing okay. For the exit slip today, what I want you to say is, are you planning on using Dropbox? Are you? I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you already have your own solution for making PDFs, that's fine. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because about 3 or 4 people from each one of my classes, so a lot of people have been asking for me to make a video on Dropbox, and I apologize that I didn't follow through on that. I just thought it would be easier just to talk about it during the live stream, because I'm here anyways, right? It seemed like a little bit weird editing a video that I'm gonna post on my YouTube channel when I post like 4 hours well, more like 3 hours of YouTube content every single day. So I just thought it'd be better to do it live. So yeah, and like I said, if you have any difficulties using Dropbox, let me know. I'll help you troubleshoot it. But I really need things to be uploaded as PDFs now. And I think, okay. Oh, okay, it looks like I'm already back. Okay, something is up with my internet connection right now. It's not super happy. Anyway, yeah, so I also wanted to point out, I think I still got a lot of you guys' attention here. It's still 23 viewers. So I do want to point out, I will be posting a rubric this week that will show you what to look for in terms of the final project. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. I think that it should really help you kind of get a sense of what I'm looking for. But really, as far as the topics go, the topics are up to you, as long as they're topics that we've done at some point in this course. So either with Miss Bray or Mr. McIntosh or with myself. But you probably want to know how many topics you need to cover, and you probably also want to know in what depth. So that's what the rubric will be. I'm almost finished making the rubric. I just want to sort of polish it off a little bit. And yes, I will be posting it to Google Classroom. So keep your eyes open on Google Classroom. I mean, I'll post it on both the website and Google Classroom, but I get the impression that when I post something on Google Classroom, you guys get notifications because, or those of you who have smartphones and have enabled notifications get notifications, because often whenever I post something, within 10 seconds, often there's a comment or something that comes up. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I hope you guys are doing well. And I will talk to you guys on Thursday. So have a good one. Bye bye.